Okay, this is Jack Ozark, and when did you get in the business?
I started when I was 17 on March the 4th, 1932 for Max Fleischer on 1600 Broadway when they had just finished Out of the Inkwell, and they were working on Betty Boop, Bimbo, Coco, and in the next year we started 10 years of the original Popeye from King Features.
How long did you stay with? You stayed with Fleischer and then Famous, right?
I stayed with Fleischer all through Gulliver, Mr. Bug Goes to Town, the first Superman, and then the war came. I went to the Army, and when I got back, instead of being Fleischer Studios, it was Famous on 25 West 45th. And we still did Popeye.
Right. And you were an animator by then?
Yes.
You became an assistant animator in the 30s, right?
Oh, yeah. I was animating way back on Gulliver's Travels. I animated the sequences of sewing his clothes, cleaning his shoes, putting the buttons on.
You must have had a tailor in your background.
I did. My Gucci background helped me. I'm sure people would not recognize me in a jacket, but I did work on most of Gulliver's clothes.
What other studios did you? When did you leave Famous?
Well, I left Famous to have my own place in Miami, Florida, and I worked there for 5 years, and then I went to California.
What was the name of your place?
I was affiliated with Channel 4 WTVJ. They just opened their channel, and they had a commercial house, and I took care of their animated commercials.
And after that, you came out here?
I spent 1 year in New Orleans, and then I came out here for about the last 28 years.
And where have you worked mostly since then?
I've worked in California. I've worked at UPA and Hanna-Barbera, and I worked 17 years with Filmation, where we did 8 years of Fat Albert, the Archie series, the Lone Ranger, He-Man, and Lassie, and most of the very famous ones we did at Filmation.
And you also briefly worked at Disney and Backstreet too, right?
I worked for Disney for a short time. I did work for Ralph for 4 months on Fire and Ice, and it was very fascinating. I think that Ralph is a true genius in what he does. I like his art, I like the chances he takes, and I think he's great. I understand him very thoroughly because I too am from Brooklyn. Yeah. And what else?
Do you have any particular thing that you want to be remembered by in the business, or some particular memory that?
Most of my work, my acting. I've always tried to be animated, and I use a mirror not for facial expressions but for hands, which are probably the most important things an animator has to do, especially on realistic stuff. It's always been known that Disney used mirrors for facial expressions, but I don't find that true. I find that hands are number one, and instead of having books on hands, you can have 50,000 books and you'll never get the hand you want. But in a mirror, you can get 50 million hands, and if you're a master of the mirror, you got it made, because hands are tough.
Did you enjoy the banquet tonight?
Oh, I think it was great. I think it was the greatest thing that could happen in our business. Fantastic.
Well, thank you very much.
Okay.